Oh, hey, just enjoying my morning cup of coffee. And I want you to keep your hands off of it, all right? Welcome back to Pub GPS. I'm your host, Brian Imrich. And today, we're staying focused and we're talking about spending and my beloved coffee, which has become the poster child for tightening up the belt and teaching people how to be supposedly smarter with their money. You can find hundreds of articles like this online that say, cut out your daily routines. So let's dive a little bit deeper and talk about the practical application of that. My coffee, I believe, costs around $2.63 every morning, but to keep it simple, I'm gonna say it costs $2.50. And if I buy this cup of coffee every single day, 5 working days a week, I would spend $12.50 per week on coffee. And if I did this even more religiously throughout the course of an entire year, over the entire year, I would have spent $650 on coffee, which is not a small amount of money. So the first point I'd like to bring up is, well, let's talk about what this $650 means for your future. If you invested this money and it grew at 8%, and you did this every year you saved that $650 and you put it in an account, and you did that for 20 years, that savings would accumulate and grow to be roughly, rounding down a little bit, $32,000, which again is a considerable amount of money. But nobody is retiring early and then sitting there with their other retired buddies going, well, I got out 10 years early, Frank, because I hacked the system. And the key was I deprived myself of daily coffee for those 20 years, all right? This is a good amount of money, but it's not enough to drastically alter the future. It does lead into the second part of the problem though. Most of the time when people say, I didn't buy coffee because I'm saving money, they forget that additional step, which is kind of necessary and a little bit boring, but you have to actually save the money, okay? The $250 is not really saved unless you actively put it in an account where it's gonna grow and do something for you. If it's not saved, you're just deferring the spending to be spent someplace else. So quick recap, number one, it will grow to be a large amount, but not so big that it's gonna change your life. Number two is that you have to actually save it. Number three, well, what does this tell us about our spending? How can we put this knowledge to use? And I think that coffee is often a pretty big tell of what else is going on inside of your daily spending. If you're going out and you're getting coffee, but it's not just coffee, it's coffee plus a croissant, and you're spending $9 every morning, and then you're going out to lunch and you're spending $15 or $25, and don't even get me started on a yogurt parfait from Panera where I'm still hungry afterwards and I gotta buy a loaf of bread or an apple or whatever the heck else they have. But if you then go out to eat, now you're talking about $40 or $50 a day. So if the daily routine becomes a tell, you need to look under the surface and say, well, what else am I doing and how does that money add up quickly? The last point is that the areas that deserve the most attention of your time and energy are food, housing, and lastly, cars. These 3 areas often comprise the biggest piece of your financial pie. So if you're looking to make these big tectonic shifts in your spending and where you're headed, you should start with food, housing, and cars. See what you have going on there, come up with a better plan to try and cut $3, $4, $5, $6, $1,000 out of your monthly budget, because that's real dollars if you take the step to then save it, that's gonna get you back on the right track. So leave my coffee alone. Coffee lovers unite. Be smart in other places, and we appreciate you joining us.